So in this case, we are going to continue with our matrices, add and subtract matrices. According to the syllabus, like I said on our introduction, in order for you to add or subtract the matrices, it is considered where appropriate, meaning to say in other conditions, you cannot add or subtract matrices, all right? So how do we perform the addition and subtraction of matrices? Given a certain matrix, let's say we have got 2, 3, 4, 1, which is a 2 by 2 matrix. Remember the order from the previous class that we had. And you're being asked to add to a certain matrix, which is 4, 5, 1, 7. All right. And another condition is given here, 2, 3, 4, 1 is being added, like we're supposed to add to the matrix 4, 1 like this. All right. We want to see these two conditions for our addition and subtraction. It can be a subtraction. It can be a subtraction here. All right. For the first question here, given these two matrices, we can see that there are elements. Remember I said whatever that is inside here, I'm just going to call it elements. So 2 correspond to this element 4, all right? And 3 correspond to the element 5. Let us consider this row and this one, all right? 4 here corresponds to this 1, all right? And 1 corresponds to 7. For this question that we are having, the second one, if we were to consider our addition, we're going to be limited as 2 corresponds to the first element, which is 4, and 4 corresponds to 1. But the 3 that we have does not correspond to any element, and also this one does not correspond to any element. So that is going to affect on adding or subtracting of our matrices. All right? So it is only that when the order is the same, that is where addition and subtraction is possible. If the order is different, addition, subtraction is not possible. If it was going to be like this, let's say we're going to have another element, another part 5, 1, then 7, 2. You are going to see that, all right, let's say this happens, 3 was going to correspond to 5, 1 was going to correspond to 1. But what about these two elements, 7 and 2? They do not have a corresponding element to the what? To the first matrix. So as long the order is different, addition will be impossible. So that is the concept for addition and what? Subtraction. That is, all right, let me just give you a statement that you can use here. We can only add or subtract. All right, so we can only add or subtract matrices if the order is the same. If the order or dimension, if the order or dimension if the order of dimension is what? The same, right? So as for grammar, guys, you know what to do. You can have it in the way that you understand. So it is about the order, supposed to be the same order, or the dimension must be the same. So that's a 2 by 2 matrix, and a 2 by 2 can be added, a 3 by 3 and a 3 by 3. The order must be the same. So where the order is different, in that case, addition or subtraction will be what? Impossible, of which that's a rare case that you're going to have in exam condition. All right, so let us quickly consider that in terms of calculations. let's say, okay, let us just even use that one that we're given, 2, 3, 4, 1. All right, so we add 2, 4, 5, 1, 7. So how do we add? We saw that the order is the same. We can only add as we saw the corresponding elements as they are. So you can add or subtract now. You can add or subtract corresponding elements. Corresponding elements or numbers. So the elements, those are the numbers inside the terms, the letters that you're given. So that is what is corresponding. All right. So in our case, if we had to consider 2 corresponds to what? To 4. 3 corresponds to 5. And this 4 corresponds to what? To 1. That is the case that you're given, and 1 is corresponding to 7. Those are corresponding elements, okay? So meaning to say, in order for us to add, we are going to combine them together, 2 and what? 2 and a 4. So you add 2 plus, this is addition. So that's 2 plus 4. Okay, you move on to the next element, which is 3, corresponding to what? To 5. So we move on to the next element, 3 plus what? A 5. 3 and a 5. All right, then we are on this row when this 4 corresponds to 1. So that is 4 plus 1, you write it down. All right, then this one corresponding to 7. So that's 1 plus a 7. So that's basically how you're going to have it. And from that, you can present your final answers, obtaining the same order as before. So if you add a 2 by 2 to a 2 by 2, your answer will be a 2 by 2 matrix again. So add 2 plus 4, that is what? 6. 3 plus 5, which is 8. 4 plus 1, that is 5. 1 plus 7, which is what? Which is 8. So this will be your final answer, as we can see the same order as the matrices that you were adding before. So this can also be a subtraction. All right, if it is a subtraction, same concept, just like what we had on what? On our addition. So the only thing that you have to consider later on will be on what? The directed numbers. All right, so if it was a subtraction like this, you're going to have the same concept. All right, 2 subtract 4. So that's 2 minus what? 2 minus 4. 3 minus what? 5 corresponding elements. All right, then we move down. 4 minus what? Minus 1. Okay, 1 minus what? 7. So that is what you're going to have. So this is all about your directed numbers. 2 minus 4, that is 4 minus 2. Then you take the sign of what? The bigger number. 3 minus 5, that is 5 minus 3. Okay, then you take the sign of what? The bigger number. 4 minus 1, that's 3. 1 minus 7, that's 7 minus 1, which is 6. Then you take the sign of what? The bigger number. So you need to consider how to subtract, adding, subtracting of your directed numbers. But as you can see, that is the only concept that you're going to have on addition and subtraction. The order has to be the same, and you must consider, all right, directed numbers. The issue will be on what? Directed numbers. So you must be very careful on your directed numbers. Given this, we can see that the order here is the same, 2 by what? 2 by 1. 2 rows versus 1 column. So we have got a 2 by 1 and also here a 2 by 1. So we can add corresponding elements together just like before. 3 corresponds to what? To minus 2. And minus 1 corresponds to what? To 7. So meaning to say, this was going to give us, all right, we subtract 3 minus 2. So that's 3 minus what? 2. Okay, this is the concept that we are having here. 3 is subtracting what? Minus 2. All right, then another part, We have this minus 1 minus what? 7. So this is minus 1 minus, what are we subtracting? A 7. So that is what you're going to have. So take note, a minus and a minus from our directed numbers, that's a plus. So you end up with 3 plus 2, which is what? 5 minus 1 minus 7, that is minus 8. Simply add and use that sign of the common numbers on your answer. So this is what you're going to have. So this is it. It is all about revision. Addition and subtraction can be obtained from that concept, all right? So in the same manner, if this was a positive, here, what we're going to do, simply add, just like before, 3 plus minus 2. All right, so this is 3 plus. What are we adding? We are adding minus 2. So be very careful there. 3 plus minus 2. Minus 1 plus 7. All right, minus 1 plus 7. So we can simply obtain this 3 plus minus, plus and minus here, we are going to obtain what? A negative, plus and minus. So that's 3 minus 2, which is what? Which is 1. So this was going to give us a 1. Minus 1 plus 7, the bigger number, all right, minus the smaller number, 7 minus 1, that's what? That's a 6. And you take the sign of the bigger number. So this is going to be positive. So this is what you're going to have at the end. So it is all about revision. Let us revise, like I said, where the order is different. Addition or subtraction is what? Impossible. You can only add when the order of the given matrices is what? Is the same. So that is what you must consider for the basic purposes of what? Your addition. That is why we are told here where appropriate. Okay, so let's do revise as much as we can.